Millennium to power, millennium. Good morning, namaskar. This is Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, April 12, 2022, Tuesday, 3:04 a.m. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज दिनांक अप्रैल 12, 2022 सुबह के 3:04 मंगलवार। Topic of talk is as usual. You can see on screen, that is real quality, coordination, engineering projects works, all designs, reliable engineers, power of communication, concrete specifications, civil engineering contracts, safety, health, environment, methods, disputed claims, etc. etc. Every day we talk about this. Signals are not working. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. It is just not even 1 minute past. Some signals have come very little signal. FPS is just 5, which is not. Well, how long can we move like this? But every day it happens, nothing new, and that's what I say. Quality is a question mark here, and that's what signals tell. Quality is really rubbish in every affair of life, and we see here. If you can see my email address, email ID is suraj_engineer, suraj underscore engineer at yahoo.co.uk. This is my email ID, this is my telephone. No need of telephone because I'm not going to attend it, just for information it is. If you write to me any question, if you write to me certain question, professional question, or even otherwise national question or international question on general knowledge, I shall be glad to answer to respond to that, provided its complete details are given. Please don't ask for jobs or something else. Alright, now this is International Professional Engineer Certification. It is valid up to September 30, 2025. Every 5 years it is revalidated or it is renewed based on CPD, that's called continuous professional development of 5 years. Whatever you do, how much you have advanced, how much you have learned more than what you had last time, and what did you do for dissemination of information to current engineers, to whole world. That's the Chartered Engineer Certificate, which is linked to membership, corporate membership of Institution of Engineers here, and that's Chartered Engineer and fellow member of Institution of Engineers. That's why you get this. And then the arbitration certificate. I'm an arbitration engineer also currently, and because I applied for this and got approved, though I'm quite aged for this, but arbitration is a very important issue on contracts. It's a mechanism for dispute resolution, and this certification means I got experience in arbitration field, and now my name exists on panel of Institution of Engineers in India. If required, institution can recommend my name for purpose of adjudicating cases according to law. And here is quality certification, quality file, and this qualification file, and I close currently chartered engineer file, and I also close arbitration file because arbitration, well, I'll open it later on, but now you can see it's by virtue of expertise in field of arbitration and for empanelment as an arbitrator in panel of our institution. This certificate is issued, is awarded to me, and you can say it's a kind of competency on contracts. That's why it's given, and I close this certificate as well. And we come back to issue of quality. Very different issue, and quality issue is not an easy one. It's you can say you have to dedicate yourself from your you have to dedicate yourself from your contents, from your experience, or you can say based on your experience and your intention to produce work. It's not simply I will do it, it has to be done, and that's really, if you can't do it, you add to development of it's not question that your job is one part, but because civil engineers particularly, I could say, just now I just suggested that quality doesn't exist, and you can see whatever you do where you are dependent on others. You see, when you are alone, you are exclusive, you are one man person, you can produce whatever you wish. But when your performance is linked to others' performances, or other services in that case, it's really very annoying that we don't get that kind of support that we expect at. And really that's telling now there's too low frame rate. This just 3 fps, and signals are 54.5 kbps for video, 16 kbps for audio, and now frame rate is 0, and certainly this video is going to fall just a couple of minutes. And that's what I always refer to. And I don't know how many times I have told, I have written, I complained to Airtel, but I think in our country there is no seriousness at all. There exists no seriousness, and that's my point of view. That's my criteria I to always claim. And now 0 frame rate, not even one, 0 video and 0 audio means all three requirements, all three indicators are 0. No video, no frame rate, no audio. So I'm just speaking for nothing, because I'm not sure that it shall be recorded. Still, 0, 0, 0, 0. I don't know what will happen. If something comes, I'll continue. I'm still watching signals. Now something has come, thanks God, and thanks signals, I should say rather. Something has come, and we have to continue for time being. And I would say that when I say specifications and quality, these are both related. Quality is something that we talk about, and particularly I talk about my own. I belong to this country, India, Bharat, and I qualified, I got education in this country. I am indebted for that. I got school education, I got polytechnical diploma education, I got engineering degree education in this country. But as far as work experience is concerned, I have experience in this country as well as I think half of my experience, more than half of my experience of my career overseas, and back to in Gulf countries as well as Middle East countries like Libya and Iraq, while Gulf countries like you can say Doha, Qatar, UAE, as well as Saudi. So I have that experience where international courts had been dominant, particularly United Kingdom courts and American courts as well as European courts. Now, in my time, American courts and you can say European courts, had been dominant, and I have worked a lot in line to these courts as well as in line to these designs. So many drawings and so many specifications I can't even count now, while working on project sites, while working in bidding, or while working on designs, or while working on scheduling, or while working on quantification. Means so much interaction has gone in life. Well, I draw aspirations from that because it doesn't give money but except whatever salary you agree on your contracts. But learning has no relation to money. Learning is like you upgrade yourself all time, and you can say that that's your input. You can say signals are again 0, 0. Every minute it changes, and I think it changes. Yes, for I think at least 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, not change 0 bps video, 0 b frame rate, and 0 audio bitrate of video and audio 0, and frame rate is 0. I don't think that something recorded is minus going on, minus 2 minute, minus 4 minute, likewise it's going on, and I don't think it will work just 9 minutes showing, 8 minutes or 9 minutes recording. I am not sure of continuation of this video. Maybe it's going just now. I don't know. Still it's on. If it continues, what to do means it's waste of my time, your time. Something has again come. That's problem here. You see, now it says video bitrate is 142, 1 kbps, film rate is 11, and audio bitrate is 55. That's what the problem is. Every moment it changes, and that's doubt again. Now it's down again, and not zero exactly. 87.6 kbps and 7 fps, and 19 kbps, too low. And I don't know what to say about this, but I have no alternative except to speak or to show you various files which are there, existing there. Let us see if it continues. Okay, fine, but I can't do anything other than this. We can try only. So I was just referring to my experience in construction. We can say today that I could not learn in those days. You can count from 1975 to 90 in Delhi, India, Bharat. I could not learn anything except some quantification, or you can say writings, correspondences. In those days when they were not even dreamed all these computer systems, all typing, writing by pencil or by pen, and you can say everything was manual, but learning was not manual. Learning was important. How to learn, that's important. How to correspond, that's important. How to read, how to analyze, means every work was done, and in sometimes there was no calculators even. Before 1980, when I was in my, you can say, job, as well as before that in education, I could not even dream of a calculator till I passed. I think the first calculator that I bought was in 1980 or 79. In those days it was FX31 Casio. I bought that 550 rupees at that time, too expensive. Until that time I did not have any calculator. So you could imagine, means calculator, how much work we had to do, calculations, scientific calculations, that too. How much time to take, and this means our minds were used to, minds of everybody, I can say. If you talk to a person belonging to those days in education or in learning, in say, you can say 80s and before that 70s, you'll find difference among those people, boys and girls who have the minds remained very active. They used to be very active, very dynamic, and they had so much you can say memory, like calculator itself, on tables, on calculations, on divisions, on square root, on cube root, or powers. Or they could even calculate on tips itself, or fingertips, in crores and millions, which we can't do today. Today's situation is different. If you ask even for a student, even a student you ask, or someone else, shopkeeper, even 2 plus 2 they cannot immediately answer, and they have to calculate on your calculator, and that worries me. That worries me from future point of view, means what is level of efficiency we have got in calculation, and we cannot calculate anything. In that case our minds means do not work. Mind is wealth of everybody, and if mind doesn't work, if mind doesn't take up all these which are required, I can say that it doesn't matter. It doesn't give anything if my mind doesn't work very fast. Mind is supposed to work very fast, very, you can say, not only fast, it's in a dynamic way. Mind should work, and if mind doesn't work, what shall work? That's the question. What shall work then? That point we have to be serious about. And if we are not serious about that, in that case I can say we don't have anything in our hand yet, but we are not serious about. That's what I say. We must have performance, and when we perform, and performance is actually required. Performance is required everywhere, in every field, engineering field or otherwise business field, or in market, or in science, or in engineering, or you can say whatever you can count on, you can bank on. Performance is valued, even though it's not written, it's not given in writing, but those who perform, of course within limits, conduct should be, those people are valued everywhere. And even now, when it's computerized world, which so-called digital world, performance is more important. How can you perform on your system? How can you perform on internet? How can you perform in your profession? How much can you run away? What level of accuracy can be used? But if you do not care for quality and coordination, there is no meaning of accuracy, because even if it's accurate, your performance is not accurate. Your performance doesn't measure to mark, and that's where point lies in. We have to be very serious from that viewpoint, and that is only purpose of this talk. When I write title real quality and real coordination, which means we have to perform in reality. It's not only in books but also on facts, on work, that my quality achievement must be seen, must be shown, and coordination should be done. Coordination which is not demanded, it's a necessity. Nobody demands coordination, but you have to fulfill some job, some function. To fulfill that, coordination is a requirement. Coordination is a medium, you can say, rather than object. There is no object that you have to coordinate. There is no objective as such, but to get your objective reached, whatever objective or whatever scope of work we have, everybody has, to reach that one, we have to coordinate whatever requirements are available or whatever are required, whatever are necessary. And that depends upon experience of an individual professional, to what extent that person thinks or that person knows or that person scrutinizes or that person analyzes all issues related, because every work has some problems. Every work problems means it's not a question to be concerned. Problems means we do something, we have to investigate that. That means problem is probe. It is a kind of probe, means you investigate what is missing or what is wrong or right, and whatever is wrong you take it out, and whatever is right you use that. That is meaning of problem. Problem is not that kind of problem as we think, oh, it's a lot of problem, I cannot solve it. There is no problem which can't be solved. Every problem has solution. The issue is we have to initiate concentration. We have to study that problem in a spirited way, in analytical way. Analysis is solution of every problem. And I always use analysis as a tool, or you can say to fight with work, to fight with situation, to fight with something not at present which I need, and to procure that from whatever source I can say. I can refer to that unknown, or you can say known source both. Or I have to consult with whatever records we have, or I have to design with whatever I can say and reach certain solution which can be called answer to that problem. And this all is called analysis. Analysis, this is science. Analysis is mathematics, I can say. Not mathematical in terms of digits, but mathematical in terms of power. If you have calculation in mind, means it not necessarily it's a numerical calculation. It can be thought calculation, it can be proposals calculations, it can be calculation based on understanding and observations of life. In whatever way, analysis is that much important. Those who analyze, those people are called intellectuals. Those people know how to use minds. And those people are really performers, you can say. Those people have quality mind and they have coordinating mind. And those people can't sleep until problem is solved. And that is basic property of an intellectual person. Until problem is solved, you can't sleep sound. It's a fact of life. One may accept or one may reject, doesn't matter. But analysis is life of everyone. And when life of everyone means analysis, and analysis means life of everyone, this means analysis means also life of society. And when it's question of life of society, means it's life of nation and life of whole world. You may work in engineering, you may work in medical, you may work wherever you want to work, whatever field you work, you have to meet analysis. Under force or under voluntary consideration, analysis is to be used. Those who can analyze, this means analysis is first step towards success, towards completion of your activity. Success doesn't mean result. Keep in mind, success means a step ahead. A step ahead to whosoever should be there, that is called success. And then if you get successful there may have another success and then followed by another analysis and success. So that is a sequence: analyze and succeed, analyze and succeed, analyze and succeed. And analysis is work of mind, work of power of mind. As many analysis you conduct, that much power you shall earn. And that's really very, very significant point, I understand. And that point I should welcome. And that welcome cannot be just a welcome, but in fact it's a forward movement. Success, if you want to reach final success or end success, then you have to keep on analyzing. And many analysis you have conducted, this means many sequences you have gone up, and you will reach a point that you can say, oh, I have got enough now, I have to combine them. And we chain up them or sequence them, all these analytical results, you will make a network of that. And that network is formed after analysis are conducted. It's called synthesis. And analysis, you can say, and synthesis, both. You can say synthesis is opposite of sequence of analysis, means you have to combine them, you have to group them, club them. And that framework which you constitute or form by conducting this analysis, it's called synthesis answer, synthesized answer. That's based on logics, because logics would tell you this relates to it or doesn't relate to it. If it doesn't relate to it, or many of them may not relate, they would relate somewhere else, and that's why analysis tells you many directions. And that's why you have to do. Those professionals who have very good capacity of analysis are scientists. In fact, I can say science, analysis is a science, synthesis is a science. Because of logics and not because of belief or faith. I do not consider any value of belief or faith in profession, because profession is not based on belief or faith. There may be some points which can be said based on experience, we can use that, but there is no, because belief cannot be measured, remember. Belief and faiths have got no way to measure. These are not susceptible to measurement. And when something is not susceptible to measurement, then something doesn't exist. So when something doesn't exist, I can say that's not science, that's not reality, that's just imagination or mirage or horizon, which we cannot get. But if we can meet something, we get something, that's beauty of profession. And when I talk of engineering and professions, engineering and professions are based on facts and not based on imaginations. Not based on something I believe, you accept this. You cannot force anything on others until you have complete scientific basis, or you can justify, I have done it, I have proceeded on this is my consideration, this is my assumption, and my assumptions come true. And if assumptions come true in a logical way, in a way that can be evidenced, that is called analytical synthesis or analytical answer. I have analyzed on this and this is my result. These were my points I considered analysis, and I am getting that logic satisfied with. And that's what I can say. Profession is an advancement. Every profession, whatever work you do, it may be formal education or based on experience or based on, you can say, empirical world. If it's satisfied, that is called profession. Profession means in-depth study. As much deep you go, as much as you can say in-depth study you conduct, or you go down deep into that, you immerse yourself into that for long hours, sometimes long days and months, you get something out of it. And that is what you can say. Innovation proceeds like this, researches proceed like this. And that is beauty of profession, means thinking is always very important. Unfortunately, people are not used to thinking these days. I think computer can think for us, and it doesn't actually happen. It doesn't actually happen that computer shall think for us. If you think like, yes, computer we use because it's our associate, it's our support, it's our data organization, it is our data problem solver, and that is because we program that way. We can't say that it will work for us, and this is therefore very important for us to understand why I'm talking about its requirement, means its requirement. And we can say quality, safety, health, environment, ergonomics, context, products, we all involved in that. And without quality nothing happens in construction. We have to make it sure, if you want to do something, if you want to achieve quality in construction or whatever else, quality in production, manufacturing, quality in services, quality in education, quality in society and individual, quality in communication, coordination, quality required everywhere in every walk of life, every activity of life in engineering, and life is engineering based, which means that engineering is dominant. It is a domain of super life profession, like medical is a super profession, and we can say no concession can be given. SHE or safety, health and environment required everywhere, during manufacturing, during processing, during construction activities, and also during use of products and whatever else. And that's what we can say. There can be no concession. And we know that how to use energy optimally, how you cannot waste energy also. Ergonomics is a science that requires everyone about how to use available energies for doing whatever work activities in best possible safe manner, so that involved work is least impacted upon adverse actions imposed upon by such activities. No concession can be granted. It is required certainly a must. No way to respond to this. No, must ask yourself, and that's your duty. No way out. And without good quality compliance applications, and we have to maintain safety, health, environment, compliance as well. And nothing can move in right direction. No concession can be given. And safety is very important. Now I'm going to talk about what safety first is there. Of course, no concessions, and we have to know that safety should exist. And if no safety, no pain, and no safety, no pain. Only difference in spelling and no W and no both have different meanings. If you maintain safety, you have no pain. If you don't maintain safety, you have pain. That's simple meaning of that. No concessions on this. You have to know quality, no pain, and if you don't know quality, you have pain. And that's what I say. Engineers are responsible for this. There's concession. Quality has to be complied with defined, specified, stated requirements within the ambit of scope of works. Design valid specifications, the quality ranges in elaborations, and depending on indicative descriptions, and they are access to unlimited scope of quality criteria to be carried out. And that's what I say. No future if no quality persists, and its specified requirements must be met in all respects. No concession, no excuses admissible for quality failure, or no concessions. And engineers have to understand that no concessions. Engineers must realize the quality facts in particular. Civil engineer has to change. Civil engineers have to change quality aspects of society, or else quality cannot exist. Engineer then becomes incapable, which engineer doesn't do all this, which means engineering and life cannot exist, and we have to understand all this. On my point of view was the design of structure health must be made decisive, safe, qualitative, and quantitatively must be reliable. For prosecution as well as for long-term performance, no concessions can be granted. Contracts must be explicitly clear and competent, with having consistency, pertinent quality issues, and designs is being very significant. But merely design, if you just think of designs only, design doesn't alone satisfy if construction and development are not affected to specified marks required. To defined quality requirement cannot be allowed to be ignored. Design drawings must have quality input and design and duly coordinated to produce working details, keeping every site working conditions and culture. And we have to construction based reasonable coordinated constructible quantity design safety. There are only no concessions for anything. Construction method statements being must for works implementation, and therefore must be charted out professionally. No concession can be allowed on this activity. That point we have to understand. These are all. Time is very important, cost is very important. Everyone can say risks are covered and must be covered everywhere, because if risks are not covered, we have to enter into a world of losses. And reliability is a very important part that includes safety from all involved factors, successful serviceability of intended purpose, and mandated durability of its working life. All other necessary resources and all applicable knowledge areas. Analysis come to now page 54 of 70, and this analysis professionally a master tool for work contemplation. That's what I was talking of. Analysis is a formula, it's a process, and synthesis is, I can say, creation through many analysis combinations. So analysis I was talking about, which is very important point, without which it's a kind of different type of mathematics, you may say, different type of mathematics, and that is analysis. And without this, nothing going working. Again, signals problem. I'm sorry to say what to say about maybe long major part of my talk go without voice because it's happening like that. Unfortunately, it is no way out. I think there should be some problem here. I don't know why. It's every time falling. It should not fall, but it is falling. Video bitrate is 0, frame rate is 0, audio bitrate is 0, and that's a big problem here. We should not see that, but it's a problem, you know. It's a problem, in fact, that video bitrate. Now something again has come, and that's game here. You can say, how can you say quality falls, quality rises, quality falls, quality rises. 3 FPS only, which also is not tenable for this. Now some video, but frame rate is still 3. Audio is 23 kbps. Video is, I'm just trying to suggest to you what to do. I don't know how do you people deal. Maybe you don't have this problem of recording because very few people go live, and I believe in live because I don't want to create stories. Live is more important than going through recording because live means you have to say what comes to mind. And during live session you have to be prepared well. You must have long experience to express yourself, to demonstrate what you have. And because in life we deal with others and we talk to others, and that's also a kind of live. It maybe means you can't continue in live session if you don't have some strong background, strong experience, and that is actually important one. That is very much reliable. I put off my battery because it's fully charged. So that's where reliability lies in, and I should say now again same state 0 0 0, unfortunately, and I don't want to speak it during this session of 0 0 because I know it's not going to be recorded well, and if it's recorded maybe I won't be able to listen, the human materials to listen, and it is therefore I think it's gone. It's gone I think. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens. Still it's going or working. I'm not finding anything here, you know. I'm not finding anything here. If it happens or goes, I do not know what's happening. In fact, what's happening, it's continuous or it's not continuous. Still it's telling it's recording, but I don't know what's happening. Still 0 0 signals, and still 0 0 signals, and if he's not come back yet. Every day same problem I had to face. I don't know how to handle it. How to handle it. I can't say. I can't know what to do with this. 0 0 0 0 is not telling anything, and also time is not moving. Something is moving, but signals are not available. It's 34 minutes is telling. It's indicating 34 minutes, but video is 0, frame rate is 0, and audio bitrate is 0, and that's signals don't come. but it's telling internet is on. And what I can say, if I continue, don't continue. Every day this is a problem, and you may be annoyed with my why I'm speaking. I don't know, video bitrate, I can't say what's happening. Some news have come, I don't know, this is a really annoying one. I feel annoyed with this. It's now telling 158.5 kbps, 10 fps, and 41 kbps. Let's hope it may work. Well, what to say, I can't help it, as I said. So what I was telling about analysis. Analysis is life of an engineer. Analysis is life of a professional. Means basically engineering cannot be conducted without analysis. If somebody thinks I can do what I used to do, same thing again, then this is not engineering. Repetition of design, same design, of course it's a part of engineering. It applies, okay, you can say, but in fact in civil engineering, if you can think of civil engineering or structural engineering or works engineering, or you can say site engineering, or you may say everything that is involved in engineering, in particularly civil, is very much dynamic in a sense that there is no stationary allowance in civil engineering. There's a difference between civil engineering, mechanical engineering as well. Civil and mechanical difference, mechanical and electrical difference. These are basics engineering which have started since beginning of development, civil, electrical, mechanical. When energies, electrical energies were started, were invented, till that time there was no mechanical engineering where electrical engineering is used. We may say that in sequence, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering processed gradually, and energy is basis of that. In civil engineering, there was a time when we did not consider level of energy except sun energy and natural energy that is given by water, by soil, or by whatever natural source. Analysis is done when energies are available and when energies pass through structures, and structures came into being because of this. There was a time when there was no RCC. Nobody knew what RCC was. Nobody knew what concrete was. Nobody knew what steel was in those days. You know very well. Because steel is not directly available, it is available in form of ore. Same way, concrete, nobody knew. We used stones, you can say particularly sandstones were used for buildings, for flooring. Mud mortar was used for stones construction. No bricks were available, only stones, random rubble masonry, this rubble masonry, that rubble masonry. You must have gone through that as a part of engineering syllabus. And I did same, it's nothing new. But it's not common, stone masonry is not common these days. But in some ornamental work you can say it's used, but as far as engineering is concerned, stones don't have any place. As far as work is concerned, but stones have a bigger place in concrete. Without stone, without rocks, there can be no imagination of concrete. That is also true. We cannot defy this fact that without stones, without rocks, or without dust, stone dust, or rock dust, or without sand, we can think of, we can contemplate about concrete, and that point still dominates. Stones have gone, bricks have come, and bricks too are not to that mark. I usually see bricks while walking here and there. People construct buildings, walls. These bricks actually I hate what I see around my city, because though it's also against the environment if you practically think of, because brick is built or brick is produced from mud, from clay. Of course a part of other also there, but clay is dominant factor. And clay, is over earth part, which is used for agriculture purpose. And we know that clay is a very dangerous soil material for purpose of foundations, but there was a time that clay, or you could call mud, was used for construction of stone walls in houses. Some people used to call them adobe houses in past, but this was used, no problem. Still people use clay in foundations. They don't understand what is clay, what is property of clay, and they don't consult anybody, and that is ignorance, you can say. And because engineers are not in direct contact with people, or people don't access to civil engineers for purpose of understanding what they are doing, so misconceptions exist everywhere, particularly in our country, because I have seen other countries and they people respect science, they respect engineering, and they respect patience. Here, everybody is a contractor, everybody is a promoter or builder, everybody is an engineer, and it's of course a laughing statement, but practical one. It's a factual statement, and we can't deny this fact that everybody is a master of engineer here. Just like everybody is master of science in medicines, everybody is master of science, a master doctorate of science in engineering, everybody. Mason is doctor of science, carpenter is doctor of science, or you can say everybody knows everything. A person who does not know anything about engineering A, or you can say who doesn't even understand what is A or B or C in engineering, that person becomes a builder, that person becomes a promoter, and there is no one to stop them. Yes? And everybody who has done something once, that person repeats same thing and guarantees that I have done so many buildings. So what happens that positions of civil engineers who should be there is by these naturally born civil engineers, I should say. I'm not taunting them. They know their work, that's fine. If a mason does well, its own activity, I respect. If a carpenter does good work for shuttering, I respect. If a person who knows concrete, I respect. That person may not be educated. I don't say one should be educated formally, but one should be trained properly. One should know how work is done, what is consideration of specification, what is sequence, what's meaning of all this. Only if you want to get quality that way, that's fine. By experience you can get quality. But experience of what level? Right experience. If you do correct work in field, on sites, people can learn it. But if we do not know, we just do blind eyes, using our eyes closed and minds closed. If we do that, what to say that one? And that's what I say, analysis is an important tool, or you can say not only important tool, it's a must tool for work, which no one can deny this fact. And therefore I say it is considered an exclusive engineering and life-oriented basis, an intellectual tool that can penetrate into all problems and unearth required solutions, and there exists no way from where or through which analysis approaches could be avoided. No analysis. It may be work or it may be theory, it may be structural design or it may be structural working. You cannot avoid analysis and synthesis. Synthesis, you can say, kind of way to produce, and analysis is a way, you can say, to design. Whatever we do, that is a result of analysis and synthesis by someone, and practically do it on field by someone. An analytical based engineering result to apply an analytical based performance provides of chain of solutions, linking of which sequence can be named synthesis. After all, solutions are integrated by requirement of suitability. All solutions network must reach compatibility. That is well known, otherwise we can't do anything. Thinking and concentration, certain powers, you can say. Thinking leads to formation of power. Concentration leads to formation of power to achieve everything and everything. thinking based contemplations are very important. Thinking based contemplation, not just contemplation. Thinking, concentrating, achieve everything. Both these activities do achieve everything. And in engineering, there is no way you can go without processing through this. And that's why I salute properties of engineers, or you can say how engineers can work. If they can think, if an engineer can think, an engineer can concentrate, engineer can make these powers to work, we can achieve everything. Work of engineering, work of engineers are very responsible. Works they deliver are very responsible, provided these works are quality related. These works have whatever was required for them to have in. These works can be used for structures. These works can be used for whatever. You know, we have to keep in mind, right? In construction, money is spent means it's not spent for 1 year or 2 years. This is spent for whole life, and how many generations would come in that lives, all would benefit from this work of engineering. And that's why I can say that concentration, coordination, thinking, etc., are very significant parameters we have to utilize. And if we can't do that, we cheat ourselves. I would simply say we have no right to cheat ourselves. That doesn't work well. We have no right to cheat someone. Cheating yourself means cheating God. If I cheat myself, I say, no, I have done it well, but I did not do it well because of whatever reason, because contractor did not listen to me, or I did not want to take interest. But I don't want to do that because it happens. Reason being that people or youth are not interested in civil engineering, I understand, because civil engineering does not pay that much as other jobs do, while civil engineers do a lot of work which others cannot do. There can be no comparison between works of civil engineers and works of other professionals. There can be no comparison, impossible. You cannot compare a civil engineer to a chartered accountant. You cannot compare a civil engineer to a lawyer or to whatever else. It is a factual world. It is a factual world, and there's no compromise. There can be no compromise in works. Works have to go, but only requirement is that we should have access to do quality work. That's major point of view. We know how civil engineering works, how its sisters like mechanical or electrical they work, because in modern world without facilities, without services, even structures do not have any use, and we must understand that point very very clearly. And if we can't understand that, this means we waste our time. And that was the reason that I refer to you concrete specifications, and that document belongs to Japan. Of course, it's only reference. I don't say that you follow Japan. It's only a point we discuss here, and we can start fabrication of reinforcement. We are talking of last time we used to think of this, and before that we were in here for reinforcement. Reinforcement, which is very important material in construction, without which we cannot do anything. Reinforcement is life. Reinforcement is whatever you can say. Very, very, very important. You have to understand reinforcement. It also tells without reinforcement we cannot do anything. That point must be very clear. And what is reinforcement? Just give me a few moments. Let me see. Just please. Reinforcement. You know meaning of reinforcement. You all know what's reinforcement. Reinforcing bars shall be fabricated to shapes and sizes specified in design documents using appropriate methods that do not cause any damage to quality of bars. Furthermore, reinforcing bars shall be accurately placed in the required position and securely fixed in place. What is that? We say we have main matters which should be examined in general enforcement works are explained. Master planning it should be. Then it should be ordinary delivery and storage of reinforcement. Then fabrication of reinforcement and placement and assembly of reinforcing bars. These are few points. Of course, we discussed last time, but I will speak fast because we have to remember ourselves what we discussed. And this is really something very important very important material from everything understanding. But again, signals problem. I meanwhile keep an eye on signals always, because I know either my voice won't be recorded or video may collapse. Just 15 minutes or more, but 0, 0, 0 it's giving. By chance it may be recorded, I don't know, but can't be sure about that. Still 0, 0 white rates. If I continue, maybe it goes in vain. It goes in vain, and that's why I'm holding a little for a couple of seconds and see if these signals work again. Still it's down and down. Video can collapse anytime. I don't know how many times I have to interfere, I have to hold my talk. That's problem in you can say live session, that when signals are down I can't help it. If it's a recorded one, that's different. Even if signals are down, you have to wait. I will continue. Now signals are little back, but FPS is 2 only. So maybe voice is recorded but video won't work. That could happen, but let us see. Everything can't be done by imagination. Let us continue what to do. So while saying master planning, I said prior to reinforcement work, a plan should be drawn up after carefully considering schedule for reinforcement work, personal requirements, storage locations for reinforcing bars, bar processing equipment, and so forth. Those involved in reinforcement work should preferably have sufficient knowledge and experience associated with reinforcement work, quality of reinforcing bars and preparation of reinforcement drawings, fabrication and assembling of reinforcing bars, and so forth. There are a variety of jointing methods, and each method requires specialized knowledge and experience. It's therefore desirable that personnel for reinforcement work include persons with officially recognized qualifications, such as certified reinforcing steel erectors, various technicians, certified by whoever competent society it is. It is necessary to check requirements indicated in designs, drawings, and specifications, such as concrete cover, how much it should be, what should be clearance, what should be bending configuration, what should be anchorage, and what about joints and non-structural reinforcement, and verify that reinforcing bars cannot be erected as designed. Reinforcement drawings are supposed to have been thoroughly checked at design stage They may exist, they may have been errors at drafting stage. If designer does not understand actual tasks involved in reinforcing work or form work, it may not be possible to place reinforcement bars as indicated on drawings at erection stage. It's important, therefore, to correctly understand design drawings and specifications and confirm tasks to be performed together with technicians who be involved in reinforcement work before construction work begins. As a result, if as a result placing reinforcing bars as specified in design turns out to be difficult to perform, it's necessary to decide on measures to be taken through consultation with owner and designer. Then it is how to deliver and storage of delivery and storage of reinforcement. It is necessary to check type, diameter, length and quantity of reinforcing bars before ordering reinforcing bars and after they are delivered. Since quality of reinforcing materials such as reinforcing bars is described, it is important to refer to and understand relevance. It's also necessary to refer to various sections, fabrication of reinforcement, and we have to keep in mind that we have to see products and we have to take measures to protect reinforcing bars from corrosion and dirt in order to maintain respective quality. Fabrication of reinforcement. Fabrication of reinforcement is a design work in connection with fabrication of reinforcement bars. In connection with fabrication of reinforcing bars, fabrication instructions shall be given to construction workers in accordance with requirement, and after reinforcing bars are fabricated, respective type, number and fabrication, accuracy, etc. be checked, and we have to maintain tolerances, and then placement and assembly of reinforcing bars. And we have to see placement is very important. Placement is a kind of assembly in certain shape, certain designs. We have to require spaces and tie wires for that. And it has got relations to formwork, specified locations and bar spacing, effective depth concrete cover, development length, adequacy of joining, and treatment of pressure welded bar ends, fabrication of reinforcement. Fabrication of reinforcement. Reinforcing bars shall be fabricated to shape and size specified in VBS, that's vehicle document. As a general rule, bars that have been bent once should not be rebent. That's very important part. Bars that have been bent once should not be rebent. reinforcing bars have to be bent according to shape required. Now, question is, here is a point that says that bars once bent should not be bent, rebent. It's very important part to discuss because once bent means work is done on that. Work is done on that bar. Then you cannot bend otherwise. This means you cannot straighten that bent and rebend. No, it's not permissible. It's not permissible for work, for design. It's not permissible. We have to be very clear about that. No way. But what happens? When I see here in my city and also in many parts of my country, I am surprised, I am shocked. Not only shocked, but I am stirred because there is no one to question. No one. I don't know what happened to profession. No architect, no engineer otherwise, no owner. Very few locations of sites I have seen where bars are delivered straight from factory. Generally, manufacturing length of bar is 12 to 14 meter, depending on, let us say, 14 meter. It should be straight. Bar is always straightly produced. It's not produced bent. And there are problems in transport, I understand, but does not mean that you should bend bar and bring by truck. What they do, this 14 meter length is bent into 6 or 7 meter shape, and they use trucks or small trailer or tractor to procure that. They place on site like that, bent bars or whatever diameter, even 12 diameter I have seen, 10 diameter I have seen, they are all bent and brought to site and placed on soil or in water. They don't care for. Alright, that is quality issue. But when you bent it and place on site, again they straighten this. These are straightened. They just make them straight again and then again bend them according to requirement. This means you do not use first hand steel. You are going to use, you use second hand steel, and that's a problem. And it says that in no case bar should be rebent. That's why I tried to explain that we make mistakes like